What's up, guys? If this is your first time ever using Autodesk Tinkercad, this is the video for you. We're going to start with a super simple design as if it was your first time ever. We're going to do a simple design. We're going to print it out and see how it works. So we'll do things very slow and easy so you can pick up and progress as you go. So in future videos, we'll make more difficult projects and you can either follow right along and try to do the exact same thing or do something similar. And throughout that process, you'll learn all the different functionality of the different buttons and different techniques and whatnot. So let's get started right away. So this is the dashboard of Tinkercad. So create your free account, and then you're going to go down here and hit create. You'll get a couple options here: 3D design, circuit, and code blocks. We're going to do the 3D design. And this will bring you right to your blank template here. This is what everyone starts with here. So, and you'll see most of Tinkercad is putting together shapes and cutting out shapes. So I can take a circle. Let me just stretch it up. I'll show you how to do that later. And we can also, let's bring in another circle. I'm actually just holding shift down and I stretch one of these, any parts of this. If I hold shift down, it'll make the whole thing bigger or smaller uniformly. But I guess what I was trying to show you is these objects are either solid, like this, or they're a hole, transparent. I call it like a cut shape. So it's like you can cut, it will cut into the other shape. So let's just put this one here. And we're going to combine these two. So actually, I'm going to hold shift down and click this sphere also. So see how both of them are now selected? Here, I'll start over. So I'm going to hold shift down. I'll select the hole and the solid one. And when I combine them, which is this button right here, watch this. Boop. Look, it just cut that out. And now we made a weird sphere thing, whatever. I don't know. It's kind of cool. So a lot of Tinkercad is just putting together shapes and cutting out shapes. And by doing that, you can do a lot of different things. So let's just get rid of that. See, whenever you want to get rid of something, there's a trash can here. So basically, let's just start on a super simple design. And I think it'll be easier than for me to go through all these settings. It's so hard, easy to forget. So let's just start a super simple project and follow along. And I think that will be a good way to learn. So let's quick cut to a clip of me designing something on paper, because that'll make it easy for us to all visualize. You could just visualize it in your head. But if we look at it together, designing it on paper, it'll be easy for all of us to follow what I'm trying to build here. So we're going to make a screwdriver holder that will screw into the wall and hold your screwdrivers. The simplest thing I could think of, so that's what we're going to do. Let's clip to the design on paper right now. Okay, let's quick sketch up the screwdriver holder. So we're not going to do this too fancy. We're just going to have a back part that screws into the wall, and then a flat part that sticks out like this. Yeah, let's see, what angle are we at here? Okay, we'll basically do it like this. We'll put a couple screw holes in here so we don't crack the plastic when we're screwing it in. So this will screw into the wall, and then let's see, we'll have a couple different size holes to put different size screwdrivers in. And there we go. Something as easy as that. Okay, let's get back to Tinkercad on my PC. Okay, So that was the basic design. We can always change it or make it a little different or better, but that was the basic design that we're going to follow. So let's just get started. So let's grab a square because we want, let's see, let's make the back part that's going to be, uh, we're going to screw into the wall. So it's got that kind of tall part that we're going to have holes in it and screw it into the wall. So here, let's just make it about the shape we want. And I would recommend getting you guys yourselves a caliper. So if you don't quite know what that is, I'll put a picture now. So that will let you measure things in real life in millimeters to let you visualize how thick and big you want things, because Tinkercad is set up on a millimeter basis. So see, this little side right here is 20 millimeters, but that's way too thick. So we're just going to go 4 millimeters because I kind of know I've done this a lot. So 4 millimeters will be sturdy enough that it'll hold our thing into the wall or whatever. It won't break when we screw it in, basically. So let's see how tall this is. So this this number here is how tall it is. So it's usually in the center of the object. So it's 74 millimeters tall. So that's about 3 inches. An inch is about 25 millimeters. So this is around 3 inches tall. I think that'll be okay. Let's just round it out. Oh yeah, you can click right on this to change it. So if we want it 70, see how it's changing it? Okay, 60. Uh, Actually, yeah, maybe a little narrower would be fine. Okay, so now we need the bottom part that well, actually, yeah, let's do the bottom part first. So we're going to have the screwdrivers go down through holes in this bottom part that we don't have yet. So actually, an easy way, instead of starting with another square and making it the shape we want, we can just copy this one that we already made. So look, if we go up to this, duplicate, there. Now we have 2 of them. So if I was to slide one over, we can use the arrow keys. So see, now we have 2 of them. And by using these arrows, see, you can use these arrows to move this around. So we're not going to move it that way. We're going to move it this way. We want it to lay flat. And you'll notice if you stay inside of this circular area, it'll snap into certain angles. See how it's kind of snap moving? But if you move your mouse out of this circle, it moves fluent in case you want some weird angle. Let's see. But we want it perfectly flat to the ground. And at this point, see, it's floating in the air. I'm actually going to hit the letter D on my keyboard, and that'll drop it. Boop. Okay. There we go. So now let's move it over. We could use the arrow keys because we have it selected. Let's move it over and make sure it's touching the other thing. Once in a while, one time I, printed something and it wasn't quite touching, so I printed it in 2 separate pieces. So as long as it's touching, it really doesn't matter if it's like this far, this far. As long as it's touching, it's fine. And you don't want to stick it out the back because that'll get in the way of the wall there. So sure, let's just do it like that. Oh yeah, I should have pointed out, to look around like this, I'm holding the right mouse button. I'm holding it down and you can move the mouse and it'll help you look around. And then I'm using the center scroll wheel to scroll, like to zoom in or zoom out. And that's how I'm looking around. So we can kind of get a look at our invention here. Let's make this bottom thicker because we're going to have holes in here and it's got to be able to support the screwdrivers. So instead of 4 millimeters, let's see what 6 looks like. Oops, why is it doing that? Oops, is my number lock off? There we go. Okay. Sure, that should be fine, yeah. If we want to, if we think we're going to have some heavy tools in here, we could make some supports right here. But let's do the simplest parts first. So let's first cut. So now we have the shape we want, just like we drew on the paper. So let's first cut a couple holes where for the screws, so we don't, because it might crack if we just put screws right through this plastic. Once we print it, it might crack. So what I do to make screw holes is I take the cylinder hole shape, because we're going to cut a hole. Let's see, let's make it a little taller. So see, by selecting these, we could select how wide it is on both sides. So let's see, let's do 2 millimeters by 2 millimeters. See, now we have a little tube basically that is 2 millimeters by 2 millimeters. So we can use it to cut out our screw holes. So here, let's lay this down just like we did with the other thing. And we'll use our arrow keys to move it over. So look, we can put it anywhere like this, but let's move it. Well, let's put one on this side. Let's move it up. So to move it up, you want to hold down Control and then do the up arrow. Okay. All right, that's a good spot for a screw hole. And so let's hit the copy button. Okay, let me select it again. Let's hit the copy button and then arrow key over. And look, we have another one. Okay, let's put one there. And let's hit the copy button again. Look, it even moved that one over farther. Okay, that's good. So let's see. One easy way to just see how far you are from the edge so they're even, you can just put it on the edge like so. Okay, see how it's sticking? Yeah, it's pretty much right on the edge. So let's count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's 15 millimeters in 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, let's just go 20 millimeters on that. And let's do the same thing on this one. So let's select it. Oops, it's way over there. Why can't I select it? There we go. If you want to center an object, hit the F key. There, see how it's brought us over there? And let's do this again. There, I moved it 20 millimeters in. So these both are, that's just one way you can kind of center stuff, or, make it even. So these are both 20 millimeters from the edge. And this one, if we want to center this, there's an easy way we can do that. We're going to hold Shift down so we can select multiple objects. So we're going to select this and this background piece. So I have both selected. And then look, you go up to this Align tool. So I'm going to click it, and you'll see these black dots up here. We can align this. So if I hit this black dot, it will center these two objects. I must have had it pretty close because it didn't look like it moved much. So we'll click off, and that actually centered this directly. It aligned the two, basically. Okay, so now we're going to hold Shift down again and select all of these objects because we're going to combine them so it cuts holes there. So watch. So see, I selected the 3 pegs, the 3 holes, the hole pegs, and the background. And we hit combine. There. Now we have 3 real small little screw sets or whatever for the screws to go through so we don't crack our plastic. We could even make little insets so the screw head sits flat in there, but we're going to try to keep this really simple today. Okay, now we need some bigger holes for our screwdrivers to go into. Let's see. Okay, so let's grab our... Okay, yeah, let's grab this hole. Oh yeah, I should have showed you this too. So you can set how many sides. You know what? I'm gonna set this off to the side over here. Let's see. Okay, actually, let me just put it out front here. You can select how many sides the object has. In some cases, if it's a sphere, a few of these have them. So see how now you can see the angles here. You could probably even set it to less. Yeah, let's see. Let's do 5 sides. Oh, maybe it doesn't let you do that. Okay. But see, with these, I want a smoother hole, so I just slide this all the way up, and that gives us a smoother edge on our cylinder. Okay, so now we should probably, I should have done this ahead of time, but we should probably measure and see how wide a screwdriver, uh, you know, metal part is, so we know how big to make these holes. So I'm going to go do that now. I'll add a picture. Okay, let's see. The average screwdriver, or a smaller size screwdriver, was about 4 millimeters, and a bigger one was 7 millimeters. So let's make a couple different sizes. So let's see, let's make some that are 6. So we'll go 6 by 6. Okay. These will be for the smaller screwdrivers. Maybe we should put them in the back. Okay. So here's something you can do that's kind of cool. Watch this. So if I start on the edge, I'm going to start on the edge like this. Select it. Then I'm going to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm going to move it over 10 and then hit copy. And then watch this. I'm going to move this over 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's too close. I'll keep moving it. I'm going to do another 10. Okay, so that was 20 millimeters that we moved it over. But watch this. Now that it will remember that movement. So if I hit copy again, see, it'll keep redoing that same movement. So look, we can make a whole row all the way across. And let's see if how it looks on this side. Okay, we'll have to center everything because this is not, we could just make this a little shorter. Let's do that. Well, then we'll mess up our back. Let's see. I know what we can do. Okay, so we have our row, but I guess we want to center. Wouldn't it be nice if these holes were centered on here? So there's a few ways we could do it, but we want to keep it simple. So let's hold down Shift and let's select them all. There. And now let's just arrow over. And today we're just going to eyeball it because that'll be fine. Okay, that looks pretty centered. See, that's way better than before. There. Okay, now let's see. Let's hit combine. So I'm going to hold down Shift again so I can select this bottom part. So look, I just selected this. And we're going to hit the combine button. Group, I call it combine, but look, it says group. Maybe I should start saying group. Okay, we'll group these together. And you'll see it'll cut holes in there. Yay! So there's for our small screwdrivers. Isn't that cool? Okay. Now we need some holes for bigger screwdrivers. Oops, I forgot the other measurement I said. Let's see. 7. So let's do 9. Give us a little, or 8. Let's do some holes that are 8. So let's grab another one of these. I'm going to hit F to center it. Boop. We're going to slide up the sides. So we have 64 sides, so it makes it more smooth. Now let's do 8 by 8. So I'm just going to change these to 8 by 8. It doesn't matter how tall it is as long as it's tall enough to cut all the way through. Because see, you wouldn't want it so short that it's under this, right? Okay, let's start just because let's just start with let's start with a big one right there. We're not going to be too fussy with everything. This is not a factory made invention, so we won't be too fussy with if everything is centered with each other. Okay, so let's do less of these because these will be bigger screwdrivers and there probably won't be room for a whole lot of them anyway. Okay, so let's select it and we'll hit copy. Yeah, duplicate. Geez, I should say what it says up there. So it says duplicate and repeat. So yeah, duplicate. I'll get my lingo correct one of these videos. This is the first one, so I'm still learning how to be a good tutorial maker. So let's move this over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that was 30. Let's just do that. Let's do that, and I'm going to hit duplicate, and it'll move it another 30. See? Okay, once again. To slide this around, to slide the whole screen around like this, I'm actually holding shift down and then holding down the right mouse button and moving it, and that'll slide the whole screen. If you let go of shift and hold down the right mouse button, that's when you get this tilt. It's kind of weird. You'll get used to it though. So let's do the same thing. Let's center this. Let's do the same thing we did with the little holes. We're going to hold down shift and select all of our cutouts here and this bottom. Oh wait, not yet, not the bottom. So let's select just the pegs and let's slide them over so they're kind of even. We could use the align tool, but we'd have to group these together first. I guess I could show you guys how to do that. Okay, so watch what happens if I don't group these together. If I don't group these together and I hit the align tool, I'll show you what would happen. So align, and look, if we wanted to align them in the center, watch what'll happen. It brought all of them into the center. So here's your undo button. This will be your best friend. You can undo anything. It'll go way back. It remembers far back. So if we want to center this group of pegs on this bottom, we would just have to group these together first. So all we'd have to do is select them all. So I'm holding down shift and select them all, and then just group them together. So now these, the computer thinks this is just one object now. So now we can actually select the background or select the bottom and hit align. And now when we hit this, there. So now it centered these, but it didn't move them all to one middle spot because it thinks these are one big object. So now this group of pegs is centered on this bottom. Oops, well, I should have just kept them selected. Okay, so let's select everything on this bottom and we'll group it together so it cuts the holes out. And I might as well show you a faster way to select everything. So just, you can see how if you hold the left mouse button down, you make this square. You've probably selected things like this before, so you can actually select stuff like this. So just hold the left mouse button down and drag across. And anything that's in that square, it'll select. See? So it selected everything we wanted. Now we hit combine or group. Yay! There we go. We have our screwdriver holder. So there we go. We're pretty much done. We could add a little more pizzazz to it. Do we think it's gonna? I guess we should maybe add a little bit of support in case this gets heavy and tries to snap off. How about we add little braces on the corners and then we'll call it done and then we'll print it out. So let's go to one of the corners. Should we add a triangular brace? Sure. So watch, we'll just kind of make something up as we go. Okay, we'll flip this. Let's make it 4 millimeters. Is this gonna work? Oops. Undo. Let's see. Is this? Yeah, this should work. Okay, let's flip it. So it's like this. There we go. Okay, so look, I'm just kind of messing around. So look, we could put a brace right there. I'm going to hit Control and up arrow. That's how we move stuff up. There we go. We got a nice little brace. Now, see, if you want to move stuff a little more, see, we're moving stuff 1 millimeter at a time. So see, this is too far out, and that's kind of too far in. So look, over here, Snap Grid, you can change how far things move. So look, I could do 0.1 millimeter. So look at how it's just barely moving. It's moving a 1/10 of a millimeter. So there we go. I'm going to go back to the 1 millimeter for now. It shows a different color. See, you can click this to do the different colors. It doesn't really matter. Is that too small of a brace? Maybe we should make that whole thing bigger. So I'm going to hold Shift down so it makes everything bigger uniformly. So if I hold Shift down, the whole thing will get bigger uniformly. If I did not hold Shift down, it'll kind of stretch it and see, then gets all crazy. Go back. So we'll hold Shift down and make this a little bigger. We still want it 4 wide though. So I'm going to make it 4 millimeters wide. There we go. That's nicer. Okay, let's make sure it's touching. You know, we don't want a gaps of air or it won't print right. Actually, it's perfect. So now that we have one of them done, we could just copy it, duplicate it. Try to remember to say that. And look, I'm going to slide it over with the arrow key. Okay, I'm going to hit F to center the object I'm working on. And let's just, wow, did I stop it perfectly? Ah, pro move. Or is it hanging over? Let's zoom in. No, I think it's good. Look at that. We made an invention. See how simple that is? Okay, let's take a look at it. Okay, we're going to leave this very simple, so we don't want to do anything more fancy. On next projects, we could, we could add things to make it a little fancier. Like we could inset the screw holes by cutting little divots in here. We could add little angle on here so this doesn't look so blocky and sharp. But right now, this is our first design and we did it. So let's see, and let me show you how to export it. Let's make sure it's done. So I always make sure it's sitting on the bottom, nothing sticking down under this. So it's nice and flat on the bottom. Everything is stuck together. There's no air gaps. Yeah, that's perfect. Let's see, is this thing still going? Okay, it is. All right, so now we can just hit, oh, actually we'll name it. Look, it comes up with a random generated name. I'm just going to do driver holder. Okay, we're going to go to export right here. And here you can choose OBJ, STL, whatever this is. I've used both of these, I think this is the most common one that, well, I don't even know. Maybe this is the most common. But it depends what slicing software maybe that you use. But I think I normally do STL. I believe you could do either. You'd have to Google the difference between the two. I do STL, and it will just export it and save it to your computer. And then you can put it into your slicing software. I use Cura. So you would have to go to a different YouTube tutorial to learn Cura because I'm not doing tutorials on that yet, but there's plenty of them out there. So and I'll save this. Looks like it's just preparing to be saved. So I'll save this and we're going to print this out and we're going to see how good it works. All right, we'll get right back to you guys. And there we go, guys. It's done. Ah, it came right off. Oh, wow. This is actually really sturdy. Look at it. Yeah, this looks nice. So you can see the three holes we did for the screws to go in. Oh, wow. This is actually pretty nice. Look at how that turned out. Okay, it's nice and sturdy. Let me get somewhere and install it, and we'll put some screwdrivers in it. That's awesome. Okay, I decided to put the screwdriver holder in my little work closet, utility closet, whatever you call it. See, I have a pegboard with, different little stuff. I do a lot of crafting and other stuff. So I don't have a screwdriver holder, so I thought right on this board right here, we'll screw it in and see how it works. Wow, that was easy. I used some kind of shiny screws that I found too, so it looks kind of nice. All right, let me go find some screwdrivers. I have them kind of laying around all over, and that's the problem. Now they're all going to be in one spot. I'll go find some and let's see how it works. All right, guys, we have it installed, and let's try it out. Let's put some screwdrivers in it. Let's see, that one's will have to go in the big one. Oh yeah, that's nice. This one, oh yeah, that barely fits in there. This one can go in the small one. Ooh, this is really nice. I want to try some other stuff too. Like these drill bits that, for doing these big holes, they kind of flare out, so that would work. I was thinking, that kind of works. I was just seeing what else might fit in there. The pens kind of fit in there a little bit. One thing I noticed though, I tried to stick this screwdriver in. See how it gets really wide? These flatheads, they get really wide on the end, some of them. And it doesn't even fit, even in our big hole. So you might be better off having rectangle holes instead of circles. You could have kind of longer rectangle holes, and that would ensure that the flatheads, even the wide ones, fit down in there. Because this one doesn't fit. So, but look it. Otherwise, it's awesome. Probably not for the pen, but we'll make a separate pen holder. But let's see. I have like little bits like this. This one, yeah, look at that. It fits right down in there. Oh yeah, I love it. That's awesome. That's going to help me stay organized. So if I do print another one, I will either make the holes bigger or I'll use rectangles for the little insertion spots. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I think it turned out great. So like and subscribe and I'll make more videos. So we're starting this channel from scratch. This is video number 1 and I have 0 subscribers. There's none. So it's hard to gain traction when you're starting from scratch. So if you can help me out, and
help the community out will hit subscribe, and I'll start making more and more videos as the channel gains some traction, or I know you guys are liking it, or at least I'm getting some viewers. So we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.